Right, so I'm here with another little fishing video. This one's with a little bit of advice. I've done one before, but I'm going to cover it again because it's a question that I get asked over and over and over. And to be honest, if I've got a pound for every time I got asked this question, I'd probably have at least £3.26. Everybody looking at new lure setups, and there's so many different combinations of lure rods, reels, and everything, and it gets confusing. There's not many guides out there. It can be a bit daunting trying to buy that lure rod. Typically, a lot of you want to do a bit of everything, so finding a rod that suits that is not always easy. A lot of time you're buying off the internet because some of your local tackle shops are not the best. There's a few out there if you can get to them. Just off the top of my head, I've never been to it, but there's places like Foster's of Birmingham, Glasgow Angling Centre in Glasgow. There's places like Bobco in Leeds. I've been to that. That's got a great bit of selection. There's Chapman's. There's quite a few where you can actually go in and have a look at quite a lot of lure rods. Who else is there? Anyway, I can't think. I'm not here to endorse tackle shops, but basically there's quite a few you can go in. But as for that, a lot of local tackle shops don't have much in, so it can be really difficult deciding what to get. Then you get online and you start looking at reviews, and you ask on Facebook and you ask for advice, and one guy says one rod and one guy says another rod, and you just don't know where to go. So here I am with a little bit more advice just to try and put you on the right track. I've just been and bought myself a new rod and reel, and I actually bought it. What I did was I kind of put myself in a position of some of you lot, and I didn't know anything about the rod I've bought, and didn't know anything about the reel I've bought. And what I did is I just took the plunge. I'll come back to that in a second. So what you can do is this rod and this reel, you can go online and you can look at reviews. You can ask on lure fishing pages and all this lot, and you can ask for advice. But what you're going to get is a lot of opinion, and what you'll find with each lure angler is that one guy likes this and one guy likes that, and one guy likes one rod and one other guy thinks it's awful. So like I said, I just took the plunge in the end, and I didn't read any reviews, didn't ask for an opinion, I just went for it. I thought I'll tell you exactly what I think when I've bought the reel and the rod combo, and if it's suitable, and if I got my choice right. So what you've got to try and think about when you're looking at lure rods and reels is what you want it for. Like I said before, typically a lot of people want to get a lure rod that's going to do everything, and that's not easy. From big pike lures to tiny ultralights, you're not going to get a rod that does that. So just what you need to do first is try and think about what lures you're going to be using, what's your target species, and typically a lot of people, it's either small fish, your perch and chub and trout, or pike. And you can get rods that'll do both. You know, I used to have the Gray's G Light 3 to 15, I think it was. It'll do shads up to about 2.5, 3 inch, and you'll catch pike all day on them, and you'll have a bit of fun. But if you want to throw pike lures, you're not going to use the same sort of rod. You're going to use something totally different. So what I tended to do was I had two main setups. I had a pike setup and I had an ultralight setup, and that'll do for most people. That'll get you most of your fun. Bit of serious piking in winter, and a bit of fun through the summer and autumn with your ultralight gear. But the more you get into it, the more you'll find that you want another rod for this, another rod for that. And that's kind of what I've just done. I just bought this rod I broke my Gray's G Light, which we're doing a bit of everything on ultralight. I managed to do my trout fishing and chub and perch and everything, so I got away with it, even a bit of jack bashing. So, but I broke that, so I've been looking for a new rod. I bought a few ones for various things, but I bought I think it's Shakespeare Agility, which is a real soft tip, and that's really probably more suitable for drop shot. And I've got that on purpose to do a bit of drop shot and have a look at that. Another cheap rod that, you know, young kids save a bit of pocket money or ask for a birthday present, you get that for 25, 30 quid, and it'll do a great job. You don't have to go top of the market. But what I did with this one was I sort of went not budget. If you go budget, then you're risking things going wrong with cheap tackle. However, there is some budget stuff that's pretty good, and I didn't go up market, because then you sort of price myself out of it, price other people out of it, and I can't really recommend things. If you see some lure anglers out there who've got a bit of money, or been in the game a long time, and they've got, you know, expensive rods, 200 and 300 pound rods, and even more, and reels exactly the same. Most people can't afford that, especially if you're buying multiple setups. And obviously, going back to what lure fishing is about, it's about a bit of fun, so you don't need to spend a lot of money, so it's just getting whatever. So I kind of go on the fade of it. If you buy it from an half decent manufacturer, you know, somebody who makes low gear, not somebody who's normally makes tins of beans. Go from somebody who makes low gear, and you spend 50 quid on a reel and 50 quid on a rod. You should expect that both bits of kit are going to be a decent bit of tackle, and that's what I did with this. I can't remember exactly what price it was, 50, 55 quid. And what I've got, you probably get them cheaper somewhere if you look, but I didn't really look. But what I've got is it's a Sonic Light Tech spin, and it's 1 to 8 gram. And what I've put it with is a Daiwa reel. It's a Daiwa Legalis, and it's a 1500 size reel. I've tried to get it just to suit me, my small plugs. And what you'll do is if you ask around, if you ask 10 experienced lure anglers their setup, I bet there's not one that's got that setup, because people have different opinions on different stuff. So somebody might have that rod, but then again somebody won't have that reel with it, and that's just how it is. So there's no right and wrong answer, and everybody will like it. And my first impressions are, it's a nice little setup. The reel looks nice. It looks 50 quid's worth. There's a bit of plastic on it, but some nice bits of metal. 2 spools, which is brilliant. So I can put maybe put some, I don't know, I'll think what I'm going to put on my second one. The rod, it's a nice soft rod. It's a spin rod, so it's perfect for lures. It's got another good bend on it. It's probably quite stiff on the main section, but I suppose that gives you a bit of backbone to play the fish. I can't decide whether I like it or don't like the handle. It's got a crazy click on it, but it works. That's for your reel seat. Seems to work okay. I mean, I don't know how it'll last, but bit of cork on it, tattered up a little bit. I don't know what that gold effect is supposed to be there, but I managed to buy a reel that matched it, so I look awesome. I look like I even know what I'm doing. If you look in my living room, my curtains and my settee are exactly the same. They all match. But like I say, I don't know anything about that. And just the day before I bought it, I actually just happened to see some lads who I know online. Some of you will have watched him. Scouse Angler just happened to mention he'd got this rod. I'd never realised, and he rated it. He enjoyed using it. Another kid, Gaz, who goes by the name of Pace Percher, he's got it, and he wasn't a big fan of it. He didn't say it was rubbish, but he just says, "Oh, I've got another rod that he prefers," and that's it. You just see opinions there. Guys that are catching fish, doing a lot of lure fishing, and have got different opinions. So don't get confused in opinions and wrapped up. You can look forever, and basically at the end of the day, just take the plunge and buy one. And that's all I did. Just went for it, and it's 100 quid. I know for young kids who have not got loads of money, that's a lot of money, so you want it to last. But for most people, most anglers, I mean carp anglers that are jumping to lure fishing, I mean you spend thousands of pounds on your gear. Pole match anglers, so it's Johnny us tight Yorkshire people that want to save money, but that's perfect. And so when you're looking for your gear, if you look for, I do typically say, if you buy a reel for 50 quid, you probably get away with your rod for 30 or 40 quid. So try and go a little bit more on your reel if you can, because a nice smooth drag is just brilliant. It's worth paying a little bit extra on that. You get away with most rods. I'd rather lose a bit of tightness or a bit of perfect grip for a better reel. That's my opinion, but like I say. And just think, it's not easy, it's a bit confusing. If you kind of think fixed spool rods, if it's a rod that's from between, let's say, 0 to 15 gram, you're looking for a tiny reel, something like a 1000 size to a 2000 size. I used a 2500 on my grey, so you can go to even that size. But as you step it up a bit, as you go to like small to medium lures, you want to be getting something like a 2500 or a 3000 size reel, and then if you're going to go pike lures, you probably want something like a 4000 size fixed spool reel. As for bait casters, if you go small, it's hard. We don't always put all the details and explain what it is. It's as if you're all experienced anglers, but what you need to look for on bait casters is with the reels is typically something that's got like a number that's like 100 is going to be a small reel, so similar to this, a 3 to 15 gram bait caster setup. A 200 size reel, something like that's going to be a small to medium sort of lures. And if you go a 3,000 plus, like my Akuma Komodos at a 350, they're bigger lures, and that's roughly how it goes. It's not easy. You can look at line capacities and all these things to try and work it out, but it just takes you forever. So basically, just get your budget, decide how much you can spend, how much you want to spend, do a shop round, look at a few online retailers, that go in a shop. If you can get to go, we'll have a look and try a bit of kit, then that's even better, and have a look at it. But if not, just have a look round and just go for it. Just pick one and just go for it. Don't, and it'll be all rod. And you might find one day you buy another rod later on, and a few years later, and you go, that's miles better than the one I had. But there's so many rods and reels. I mean, I'm not lucky enough to be sponsored by, you know, some big tackle company who's throwing rods at me. So I've not tried a million rods. So you just got to take the plunge, and just like you lot, got to take the plunge and buy a rod. It's not the world's best and it's not the world's worst. It'll do a really good job. I'll enjoy it. I've managed to catch my first fish on it, so I'm happy. It handled it well. Rod bent, spool did its job, cushioned the fight for me, and yeah, so I'm happy. And that's 100 quid well spent. Some nice braid on it, and away you go. And that's it. Just go for it. Don't. The more time you spend on the internet looking, the less time you're fishing.